Turn me up, let's make history.
Luther leads the Reformation with his 95 Theses, a monk with a vision who challenged the church's existence. The people heard his message and they began to rise as they stood up to the power with a fierce look in their eyes. The people heard his words and they started to believe that the church needed change, and that's what they achieved. The Reformation continues with turmoil and strife. The Catholic Reformation fighting to reclaim its life. Inquisition and hearsay, a battle of the soul, but the people fight for freedom and refuse to be controlled. The Catholic Reformation fighting to respond, social unrest with inquisitions and hearsay, but through it all, the people fought for liberty.
Reformation and upheaval, a chapter in our history, with Huguenots and Jesus and Council of Trent for unity, Anabaptists and Presbyterians seeking a theocracy, Calvinism and predestination shaping our theology, Holdricks and Gleany breaking for change and reform, John Knox fighting for the Scots to transform the nation state, emerging as a new form of rule, as the church and state fought for their own tool. The Catholic Reformation with Ignatius of Loyola, Jesus spreading the word and fighting against Sola, the Council of Trent defining the church's doctrine as heretics were hunted and put on trial for their conviction.
Reformation and upheaval, a chapter in our history, with Huguenots and Jesus and Council of Trent for unity, Anabaptists and Presbyterians seeking a theocracy, Calvinism and predestination shaping our theology, Martin Luther excommunicated for his views, Lutherans and Protestants refusing to be accused, Peace of Augsburg granting religious tolerance, but not before Henry annulled and caused a ruckus, Elizabeth creating a new church of her own, Anglicans emerging with their own throne. The Reformation and upheaval changing the course of history as we strive for freedom, equality, and liberty.
The Inquisition, a tool of suppression and fear. Heretics hunted down with no mercy to spare, but their beliefs persisted despite the threat. As the Reformation spread and the people's voices met, the Catholic Reformation fighting back with the zeal. Ignatius of Loyola founding the Jesuit appeal. The Council of Trent reaffirming their beliefs as the church sought to protect what they saw as their relief. Reformation and upheaval, a chapter in our history, with Huguenots and Jesus in the Council of Trent for unity, Anabaptists and Presbyterians seeking a theocracy, Calvinism and predestination shaping our theology.
The nation state emerging with power and might, as monarchs sought to consolidate their own rule and right, but the people had their say with the printing press as the ideas of reform spread throughout the masses. John Calvin preaching predestination with force, Zwingli's ideas causing a theological discourse, Lutherans and Protestants forming their own faith as the Reformation continued with no sign of abate. Reformation and upheaval, a chapter in our history, with Huguenots and Jesuits and Council of Trent for unity, Anabaptists and Presbyterians seeking a theocracy, Calvinism and predestination shaping our theology.
The Peace of Augsburg, a treaty for tolerance, but not for the Anabaptists who face further defiance. Elizabeth creating a church of her own as the Anglicans emerge with their own throne. The Reformation and upheaval forever changing the course as we strive for progress with renewed force. Let's remember our past and the lessons we've learned as we build a better future with our hopes unturned. Reformation and upheaval, a time of change and reform. As we move forward, let's remember where we've been born. For history is our guide as we strive for a better tomorrow and leave behind the strife and sorrow.